Eagles along for the ride in the final international fixture, the final window of 2025. Great to have you. And we are underway. It'll be La Vinatito going from right to left in their usual burgundy strip. Meanwhile, it'll be Canada trying to improve on a goalless draw against Ecuador up in Toronto in their white strip. Stu, certainly a lot to play for both of these two tonight. What do you expect to see early on?
For the Canadians, it's about, for Jesse Marsch, trying to find some goals. He stressed in the lead up to this match that it's not anything internally that they're worried about, but certainly externally. You look at a team that has a lot of attacking firepower, just have been unable to find a way to put goals on the board. And this is a team that has looked so good back in the Copa America in 2024, but since then it's been a bit of a roller coaster for Jesse Marsch, so he would like to get back to winning ways.
Spending most of that night up in Toronto defending after Ali Ahmed was sent off 6 minutes after kickoff for a rash challenge on Alan Franco. But a positive result that they're trying to kick on from. No doubt about the defensive prowess from Canada. Now it's about finding the back of the net. Goalless in their last three. Coming off back-to-back draws against CONMEBOL sides in Ecuador and Colombia following an October defeat in Montreal by the Socceroos of Australia. This is a team that hasn't won since September 9th at a 1-0 win overseas against Wales. So a lot to prove and perhaps give Jesse Marsch food for thought as we head into 2026. All the way at the back, once again keeping his spot in goal for Venezuela, Jose Contreras, who's come in for Rafa Roma as part of the World Cup qualification setup. Other side of the coin here, Stu, we look at Venezuela and everybody knows about the collapse on that final day, Bolivia getting into that Interconfederation spot, but it's a new look, Vinatito, but the future indeed is ahead of them.
Just devastation, though, for a nation that thought they were, the way they started CONMEBOL qualifying, felt like they were going to be in the mix. Solomon Rondon has been a fixture up front for this team for so long, and tonight we're getting to see a new player up front. Kevin Kelsey of the Portland Timbers, just his 4th appearance for Venezuela, so a number of these players now are starting to play truly for the future of this nation and looking forward at what they will have in front of them. But that massive disappointment you can't avoid. As we get a look at the first foul for Rubiel Vasquez, the 35-year-old American, our referee.
So free kick coming up here. Venezuela coming off that 1-0 win against Australia on Friday nights at Shell Energy Stadium in Houston. It's a new look side with a new look manager as well, Fernando Aristeguieta, a 33-year-old who came in to replace Fernando Batista, who was in charge of that World Cup qualification run. Not a lot of changes in his 11 tonight. Indeed, youth shall be served with 6 players, less than 8 caps for Venezuela. It'll come out the first piece of action here for Maxime Crépeau, who gets the nod over Dane St. Clair in goal tonight.
And Dane St. Clair has been having a wonderful MLS Cup playoffs for Minnesota United. It's been a battle between the two of them. It just feels at the moment that St. Clair has nudged in front of Crépeau, so a big opportunity for him tonight getting the start.
Here's Richie Laurent with his first touch wide on that left-hand side, coming off a sparkling performance in that clean sheet draw in Ontario. Many thinking that he is perhaps undroppable. That may give a little bit of a selection conundrum for Jesse Marsch once Alphonso Davies comes back to full fitness. Positive signs as the Bayern Munich star is training in Bavaria now and is looking to be available coming up in March when we resume the international fixture list. It's a touch for the debutant, Alfie Jones, playing his club ball in Middlesbrough. Took his oath of citizenship just yesterday. It's been a year-long process, but they're happy to have him.
And his paperwork was delayed, so he couldn't play that last match against Ecuador, but now getting an opportunity. And it's been a position at the back. You've seen a lot of rotation, actually, for Jesse Marsch between the Gold Cup and then the friendlies after, trying to look and solidify his pairing. And you have the 28-year-old Jones making his debut now, a latecomer into the cycle, and can he force his way into that squad for next summer?
Certainly has the club pedigree, but doing it at the international level is an entirely different animal. Says, I gotta earn my stripes and earn the respect here across the pond. Lovely turn from Oluwaseyi. That would cleared away by Venezuela. who are eager to get it up and running. This is Telasco Segovia. He'll be wearing the number 10 shirt tonight. Very much the creative fulcrum for the South Americans. Nowhere to go but up for them. And that victory against Australia will do wonders for their confidence after 4 consecutive defeats that included that collapse against Colombia 6-3 in Maturin on the final match day of CONMEBOL World Cup qualification. It would have achieved the dream, as Venezuela the only nation from South America who have yet to appear in a World Cup final. Back to Cripple.
Canada always try to build out of the back. They play 4-4-2. They have the 2 midfielders trying to drop a little bit deeper. That time Eustachio giving the ball away, trying to force it through the middle, and it's gifted Venezuela possession.
Touch from Blanca Mendoza, but dispossessed. And how about the high stepping works of Jonathan David, picking out the run on this right-hand side for Tejan Buchanan. Defense summoned into action and steered to safety by Nahuel Ferraresi, the Sao Paulo man. Back 4 setup tonight for Venezuela as well. It's an old-fashioned type of setup, you think, when you look at Canada.
Jesse Marsch plays very much his RB Leipzig, New York Red Bull style. He's played all throughout his career in the very narrow 4-4-2. They try to really play in transition, which is something actually when teams are sitting a little bit deeper against them, they have trouble breaking them down and scoring goals. The last game's a difficult one to really contextualize when you pick up a 6-minute red card for this Canadian team. This is much more of an opportunity for them to get some reps. But Tejan Buchanan is a player with such a high ceiling, having a great season as well. Jonathan Davis not really amongst the goals, and could he get one tonight that would kickstart his club form a little bit as well?
Igor Sigur leaves it off now. Lovely touch into the center for Kone, who lifts it. And tended to defensively by Adrian Kova, who's making his international debut at right fullback tonight for Venezuela. A lot's been made in the Canadian media of the lack of goal-scoring production. The defensive onus really has been the big focus for this Canada side. We know about their stinginess and how forbidding they could be. They're coming forward right now. This one just launched and warming the gloves of Jose Contreras. Decent effort, speculative. Stu, we talk about these problem scoring goals. Jesse Marsch kind of shrugs it off, said there's nothing to worry about. We've got goals in this team. Should he be concerned?
Well, you should always be concerned if your team isn't scoring goals. I think what he relies on, or gives him confidence, is the amount of attacking talent that they had, or they have rather. Oluwaseyi up front, and Jonathan David, Tejan Buchanan on the right. Kyle Laren's kind of come off the ball. He actually went back just to Feyenoord after picking up a little bit of a niggle in camp, so he's not a part of it as well. But for Jesse Marsch, I think what he's trying to figure out right now is just the best combination of players in that final third to create goal-scoring opportunities. And they've had looks at goals, just haven't been finishing them off.
Not a lot of chances in that Ecuador match as Ismael Kone brought to the floor. In fact, just one shot on target, and it came by way of the undermanned Canadians. Rather listless attacking affair from the Ecuadorians, who are headed to the World Cup.
Yeah, just a little hand up there, catching him in the face. It's going to be a Canadian throw, though. They do have a long throw with Buchanan.
Tejan Buchanan, the Villarreal man, looking perhaps for his club teammate in the mix. Brings an extra dimension with that long throw, as you mentioned, Stu. The flick on, lovely one it was for the debutant Alfie Jones, and the referee spotting the infringement away, and a free kick here for Venezuela. The third meeting between these two, documented back in the Copa America quarterfinals in the summer of 2024. It was Canada outlasting Venezuela on penalty kicks in Arlington to move on. Near side played for Alessandro Milani. One of those 3 changes tonight for Venezuela. It's the second appearance for Milani as well.
And Canada, as we would expect, having a lot of possession of the ball right now. But look, as you can see, everybody's coming to the ball in the middle of the field. They've got to work the wide areas like this, but Venezuela doing a good job right now, 2v1 to stop that cross, and it's going to go out for a corner, though.
First corner of the night, Tejan Buchanan finding some space here on that right-hand side. The former New England Revolution man, he's been on the move in his club career. He's been in Italy for Spain. And this is where Canada could really do some damage against Venezuela. Oluwaseyi amongst the culprits as well, but Derek Cornelius comes to mind. Plenty of targets along with Alfie Jones. Could be exactly what the doctor ordered. They'll take this one short off the routine, whipping it right back around. Sigur just lays it well high of the bar, and that one disappointing in the end.
And I think Seager just gets caught between two minds here. He had options at the back post, and they were playing a short corner that was well worked, in fact, and they got the angle they were looking for. I think he thought maybe for a moment I can have the shot here to the back post, and then just floats it well over the crossbar. No danger for Venezuela.
So looking for our first quality chance. Oluwaseyi dropping off. Plays it out wide. Jaden Nelson getting a chance to run out on that left-hand side. Ali Ahmed start proceedings. The last time out. Good interplay now, and it's come forward on the left-hand side. Here comes Larea. He's in. Larea pulls it back, and that's positive play on the flank from Larea.
A good look at Larea here, just being able to go through the gears and accelerate and go past defender. He's a real threat from that left-hand side, which, as you touched on earlier, with this team, of course, without Alphonso Davies, and that's a big, big loss for them. They see him sometimes as a left back, as a left winger, but it means if you can get Larea playing really well at left back, you can push Alphonso Davies potentially further up the field into that winger position. But another corner for Canada.
And Nelson takes it on the opposite side to the far post, sailing over everybody. Will go out and play and out for a goal kick. And interesting, you bring up the likes of Larea, and interesting quotes coming out of the media from Canada this week. Said 75% of the earth is covered by water, the other 25% covered by Larea. And that's how highly he is regarded, and something perhaps he's undroppable, and it might change the role for Alphonso Davies, perhaps.
I just think it gives Jesse Marsh options, which we talk so much about depth and having to have a deeper squad of players that can really contribute in a meaningful way in a World Cup, because you're planning for 3 games and you're hoping for 6 or 7. Realistically, some countries plan for 8, but well, in the new format now. But for Canada, they're really going to be analyzing that group stage. You have to rotate different lineups, and I think what we saw from them at the Gold Cup is they used heavily the same type of lineup, and then they got to that knockout match, and they looked a little leggy and didn't have enough and got knocked out.
This is positive play for Venezuela. Clayco Mendoza, 23-year-old who plays in Ukraine, defers now to the debutant Adrian Kova. Good movement from Ender Echenique. It's a good riposte here from the South Americans who've done well. Corner kick upcoming first of the night for La Vinotinto. Trying to repair the damage after that World Cup qualification collapse. The road back begins now in Fort Lauderdale. Velasco Segovia playing on his home ground. Inter Miami man standing over the corner. Trying to pick out his MLS compatriot, Kevin Kelsey, perhaps. Pulled all the way back by Milani, and that one safely into the gloves of the 31-year-old Maxime Crepeau. He's gotten a lot of football in recent time, at least at the international level as well as the club level.
Look at the speed from Buchanan here.
Good work from Buchanan just to get goal sides to working his way past Milani.
He had a long way to go there, Tejan Buchanan. He was on about a 60-yard sprint, but Milani doing really well recovering here just to get inside and draw some of the contact. Actually, Buchanan ends up pulling him down at the end of the play.
Young Italian-born defender taking up a very good angle. This one will have to be put back a little bit. Word of warning from Rubio Vasquez. The cripple finding football a little bit hard to come by, losing his undisputed #1 shirt to James Pantemis in Portland, now declaring for free agency in MLS last week. Future remains uncertain. Chance to put himself in the shop window tonight. This is Alfie Jones. And pressure here from the South Americans. Derek Cornelius. Part of a changed partnership in the center of defense along with the keeper. Exactly breakneck pace, slower tempo to this one. And booted up all the way forward that time by Contreras. It's a funny old fixture on either side at home. Venezuela well accustomed to be playing a lot of their friendlies in the United States after having their 1-0 victory registered in Houston at Shell Energy last week.
And we've talked a lot about this with the United States being one of the host nations. The reality is you play no competitive games outside of Copa America's Gold Cups, and so you end up with a lot of friendlies. And this is the last international window of this year. Then you'll have the one in March, and then all of a sudden you pick your World Cup squad and you have 2 games before the World Cup starts in June. And so sometimes it's hard for these teams to find situations in which there's a bit of pressure and there's some stakes, but it's up to these players to understand this moment. And
Eustaquio just lays it up.
And for guys getting opportunities, guys like Alfie Jones, to show that they can be a part of this squad and they could play a meaningful role and have a good performance in a game like this.
Depth is at the disposal, especially when you think about Laren unavailable, Davies, as we take another look at this free kick. Just overcooked slightly on the Porto man. No Moise Bombito, Luke DeFigero, as well as Alistair Johnson, Liam Miller, some big names. Names that can put themselves amongst the reckoning when it comes selection time. Here in 7 months' time. First fixture for Canada, of course, on June 12th up in Toronto, as they will open proceedings in the 2026 FIFA World Cup. A chance to just fine-tune matters, tighten the screws. Throw it opposite side now for Adrian Kova. There's his club football in Lokomotiv in Bulgaria. Look forward and tracked down and sent to safety by Canada. Eustaquio. Lovely ball for Oluwaseyi. The hold-up is there, supported by Nelson. One of those 4 changes tonight for Jesse Mars, operating on the left-hand side. Eustaquio plays it forward now. Good movement here from Jonathan David. Just gets it caught in the feet, couldn't sort himself out in time. And perhaps a counter-attack on, and here come Venezuela. Just trying to sink their teeth in, but it was a robust challenge from Richie Larea, who would not be moved. And unfortunately, it's brought the Venezuelan player down. Type of moment that really suits the strengths of a player like Richie Larea. Much has been said about how he can perhaps get stuck in and get under the skin of opposing attackers. You see
it's a good tackle, though.
Front and center here against Ender Echenike.
It's a hard tackle, but to me, he gets the ball there and arrived at a nice time. And the referee, Rubio Vasquez, agrees.
So you're saying not all contact is a foul these days, right?
Indeed, yeah.
And man who knew about contact back in his day.
Oh,
Jesse
yeah,
Mars.
I played against him quite a few times. He loved to tackle. Taking down his notes there, Jesse.
Ever studious, the Princeton man. Knew a thing or two about getting stuck in the center of the park, and he's kind of brought that same hard-nosed philosophy up north to Canada. Meanwhile, Nico Sigur coming forward from his right fullback role. Canada really yet to liven up in attack. Buchanan's been a bright spot, good movement as Kone tries to hook onto it and work his way past. Number 5, Teo Quintero, who did well to come across. Still on, though, for the Canucks. Estaquillo just gives it away now, and on the break, and here comes Venezuela, a hard charging run here from Echenique on that opposite side. There's Danny Pereira, who plays his club soccer for MLS side Austin FC, part of that double pivot in the center of the park, along with Christian Cáceres. Unchanged partnership tonight for head coach Fernando Aristeguieta. Segovia. Clever feet and a higher line of confrontation. David closing down. Milani. No goals after 20 minutes. Stu, holding your assessment of things thus far.
Well, Canada have had the majority of the possession. They've created a couple of half chances, a couple of set pieces. But Venezuela is starting to build into it here. But it just seems to break down whenever Venezuela get into the final third. Good clearance there by Jones, just clearing their lines, but Canada playing as they always do. Bit of a high line, trying to squeeze the game in the middle of the field. That's the first penetrating run we've seen.
Here's Kelsey, he's in, and it's tidied up well by Alfie Jones, under some duress from the Portland Timbers man. Want to make the most of his first ever start for his country tonight. Moments of trepidation, perhaps. The back four very much feeling itself out, playing together for the first ever time. Segur's done really well to win it back. It sends it upfield.
Might stay in. Kelsey's going to chase it.
If he calls it back, is Kelsey just over the back of Jones here.
I actually don't think that's a foul. Kelsey actually evades Jones. He's clever. He looked like he was going to come on the right-hand side with him, and he just cut back quickly to the left, and Jones was falling. The defenders get those calls, though, about, I don't know, 98% of the time.
Spoken like
an attacking player, yes, absolutely. Don't lay a pinky on a defender in that situation.
Put it up there by Mendoza. Can't quite get a hold of it in midfield. Down goes Kone, free kick for Canada. Trying to liven up proceedings here in South Florida. City Miami in the thick of the MLS playoffs. Still some club football to be played on this ground before the season is over. We look forward and turn the page to 2026 as we hit the midpoint of half number one in this international friendly. Venezuela and Canada goalless. Canada in possession now. Good movement from Jonathan David. Enters the penalty area, squares it across, and it sits up, blasted home, and Canada finally have that goal. The breakthrough, their first in 4 games, and it's Ismael Kone with his 4th for his country. 1-0.
A lot of good work has come down the Canadian left-hand side. It's Jaden Nelson gets faced up. He attracts the attention of 2 defenders, and it's Richie Larea who sneaks in behind. It's just a poor clearance. This takes a wicked deflection to go in. I'm actually not sure. We have to see the behind view. I think Kone is dragging this ball wide of the post, but it doesn't matter. Ends up taking a deflection. You see here, I think that ball's going wide, and it ends up coming off a Venezuelan defender into the back of the net. So Kone giving Canada the lead, and just persistent but poor defending really from Venezuela that led to that goal. But the Canadians don't mind. They've got their first goal in what has been a long wait for them, so that'll feel good.
Had to wait 343 minutes for it. Jesse Marsh can put the critics aside. Fortune favoring the brave. Canada rewarded for their attacking adventure. And now in the driver's seat, this is Danny Pereira. Now something for this man to think about. Fernando Aristeguieta, part of that growing breed of very young head coaches, only 33 years of age. After a playing career that saw him capped 29 times by Venezuela. Pereira dropping into that back line now, looking for that long diagonal past Segur. It sits up nicely here for Gleico Mendoza, has done brilliantly. One of those World Cup qualification holdovers. Cáceres plays it wide. Better football now as Kova joining in from his right fullback position. Will the response be swift from La Vinotinto? Down goes Ferraresi. Well, they want a quick retort.
Well, let's see how Venezuela respond to going down a goal in a game that, again, attacking-wise had been dominated by Canada to this point. Venezuela breaking down when it gets to the final third. Canada okay with letting you have it here, but look how they hunt and press the ball. It's really that front six. Jesse Marsch tries to stay very narrow, a bit of an umbrella. Then they have the strikers press. Jonathan David involved here, and they want to try to win the second ball. That should be a foul. Yeah, it is going to be a foul on Alfie Jones.
The 18th goal conceded in their 10th international fixture of 2025 for Venezuela. Just 3 wins in 2025. But a new look, Vinotinto side. And they look to the future with optimism and build on something, put those building blocks in place and perhaps start to think about 2030. Canada with other ideas. David wide of this right-hand side, looking for a second. And here they come once again, but just getting the lines crossed, and it makes it easy for the Venezuela keeper. Squad trying to develop that understanding. Stu, you've been there. New players coming in, a lot of the old guard out. How difficult is that to find those patterns of play and develop that understanding?
It takes time. It takes time to have partnerships with guys next to you, behind you, in front of you. Rhythm, reps. Is that going to be a foul? No, we're going to play on here. And then even for this Canadian team, it does become an important period, because you look back to 2 years ago, semifinals of a Copa America. There was just so much hype and so much expectations, so much excitement for Jesse Marsch. And for them hosting a World Cup, there's going to be so much excitement in that country, but yet you want to see your team perform and you want to go in feeling good. We've talked so much about that with the United States, and they get another win today against Uruguay, 5-1 for the U.S. Really impressive performance. Game just went final now. And if you went back 2 years ago, there's another look at the goal. And yes, indeed, that was going wide from Kone. Took the nasty deflection, but ends up in the back of the net. Came off Ferraresi.
Back-to-back wins for the U.S. So positive turnaround after there's been a long spell of criticism from Mauricio Pochettino. Jesse Marsch, no doubt, selling his team, building it on their defensive fortunes. Can they become the entertainers that they're crying out for, especially with the big show coming up 7 months from now? David foraging away, nicely tended to on that right-hand side by Ferraresi, wearing the captain's armband tonight for Venezuela. Need to be ready, but a chance to look down the depth chart, perhaps. Player down for Venezuela. At the 30th goal that Canada has scored. He mentioned their goal-scoring drought. The drought now over. 14th game of 2025 tonight. And they've taken 6 victories in the calendar year. Just 4 defeats and about 3 draws. Chance to end things on a positive note this evening. You see the referee and the players indicating that the stretcher might need to come out. A chance for the players to catch their breath. Temperatures not too acute this time of year. Rather pleasant low 80s as it topped out earlier. Now Aristeguieta looks as though he'll be forced to go to his bench for the first time this evening by way of necessity tending to injury.
Might get another MLS here. Looks like David Martinez of LAFC going to come in for just his 4th appearance for Venezuela. The young 19-year-old, we've seen him in MLS start to get more and more minutes under Steve Cherundolo. They are still in the MLS Cup playoffs.
Well, some fresh legs. He hasn't been used for LAFC in the playoffs. And we see the Venezuela man up and walking around. They've come out